You're going to let them black kids into your white schools. Yes, you are. You're going to let them in. But this is what we're going to let you do. You can still segregate them once they get in, but we need you to let them in first. And then once they get in, we're going to give you some labels you can use. We're going to give you some labels you can use to justifiably put the black kids in a class all by themselves. And there was 3 labels that they've been using then, and been using since then, and using right now in Fort Lauderdale. And those are the labels that I have a problem with when I talk about special ed. One of them is known as the specific learning disability. The learning disability is the weapon of mass destruction that they use all over Black Florida to give your black child an inferior education with your permission. Another one, serious emotional disturbance. Another one, mild mental retardation. And the newest one, ain't no daddy at home disorder. Well, what the hell you mean, brother? I'm a Hotep father. I'm in the house, brother. My son still got ADHD, brother. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, then in your cases, ain't no discipline at home disorder. Nah, brother, you wrong, brother. I'm home and I give out discipline in my house, brother. So that ADHD stuff don't mean nothing in my house, my brother. Well, in your case, then it becomes artificial diet at home disorder. Nah, brother, we do veggie wraps, brother. I'm a shea butter, brother. Ain't no sugar in my house, brother. We Hotepas in this family. Really? Then it becomes attachment disruption due to home dysfunction. Wow. In other words, you and the mother not getting along and y'all arguing in front of them children and they going to school with emotional dysfunctions by being raised in an unhappy home. In other words, if it ain't the first ADHD, it's the second. And if it ain't the second, it's the third. And if it ain't the third, it's the fourth. When did we get ADD? 1980. The American Psychiatric Association, in collaboration with the CIA and FBI, started mass incarcerating black males selling crack that the CIA brought to our communities. And as a result of the mass incarceration of black males, tens of thousands of black boys were left without a father. Now, the government knew that this hyperactive emotional problem was nothing more than an attachment disruption because you stole my daddy from my home. But rather than give a boy his daddy back, we're just going to take him to the doctor. In other words, they made up ADHD as a fake disorder to get paid off of fatherless black boys. And the sad thing about it is they got y'all believing in it. Some of your sons been taking drugs for the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years. What is wrong with you, mother and father? I don't understand black folks. Why would you go to white folks to solve a black problem? He don't need no medicine. All he needs is a strong black male teacher. That's all he needs. You can fix every school in Fort Lauderdale. Test scores too low, I got a solution. High school dropout is too high, I got a solution. Too much hooking and cutting and gang banging, I got a solution. Give every black boy in South Florida a strong black male teacher. But you're not going to do that because you depend on the schools to fail our children. Because without failing schools, there cannot be no mass incarceration system. So the school must fail black children in order for you to be able to lock up grown black males. And another reason why we don't see more push to get black men in the schools is because the white racist females who run the schools don't want them in there. I'm going to call it like I see it. I'm going to call it like I see it. The problem is real simple. The reason your children are struggling ain't got nothing to do with you being poor. Nothing to do with his dad being in jail. Nothing to do with the schools being underfunded. Nothing to do with the teachers being paid too less. The reason your son isn't learning is because the person standing in front of him could care less if he learned at all. It is a crime to let a member of the oppressor class teach a child of the oppressed class. It is a conflict of interest for a white woman to prepare a black boy to challenge her own son for economic control of South Florida.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
But we got a problem because in order to fight to get black men into schools, and when I say black men, I'm talking about a certain kind of black male. I'm talking about an unapologetically African alpha male. I'm not talking about Duncan Hines. Then we're not going to get into that because we're in a public facility. Okay? I'm not talking about a Duncan Hines brother. Betty Crocker brother. No, sir. I'm talking about backbone black males. All right? Whatever happened to the backbone black male? Everybody got a little sugar now. Not a lot, just a little sugar. You ever see a brother walk by, you just felt his energy like, it's a little sugar in there, a little sugary. But brothers and sisters, the reason we don't see more black men in the school is in order for us to get more black men in the school, your black state reps and your black state senators and your black council persons and your black mayors and your black U.S. reps, they're going to have to go to war with the white teachers union. And everybody's scared of the teachers. Everybody's scared of the teachers, brothers and sisters. What do you mean, Dr. Umar Johnson? I mean that the American Federation of Teachers and the National Education Association are the two largest teacher unions in America. They are the Democrats and Republicans of public education. And if you want to change the schools, you're going to have to go to war with them fools. Why didn't Obama do nothing about the schools? Trump won't touch it either. I don't care how tough Trump talk. Trump ain't gonna change nothing about them schools. Bush didn't even change nothing about the schools. You wanna know why? Because if you wanna get elected anywhere in America, you need votes. And what union has more votes to give than any other union in this country? And that's the teachers. And guess who's after the teachers? The police. You wanna know why they don't charge police for exterminating black males? You wanna know why nobody gets justice for what they do to our young brothers? It's because in order for me to change the law to hold police accountable for the killing of black folk, I'm going to put my campaign in jeopardy. There's more teachers and more police than any other professional in America. They got the votes and they got the money and they got the ability to put you out of business. These are the facts and they are undisputed. So the only way we're going to fix this, then, we can't rely on the elected officials. We have to organize ourselves. And that's why I started the National Independent Black Parent Association last year, so we can organize ourselves. And our next conference is going to be in January, somewhere down here. It might even be here. And I want y'all to come so you can come and get that training from Dr. Umar so you can start a chapter. Every chapter got 7 committees. Committee number 1, Special Education Committee. You got to investigate special ed in Lauderhill. And you got to investigate special ed in Palm Beach. And you got to investigate special ed in Miami. How many black boys in special ed in Miami? How many black girls in special ed in Hollywood? How many black boys diagnosed with autism in Fort Lauderdale? And why don't you know? Are they in special ed full-time? Are they in special ed part-time? Are they just get pulled out for a couple subjects? Are they on homebound instruction? Do they go to approved private schools? During what grade were they put in special ed? In Palm Beach, the average grade might be 4th grade when they start putting our kids through that nonsense. Fort Lauderdale, it might be the 6th grade. Miami Gardens, it might be the 2nd grade. We need to know this. And then we're going to have a school discipline committee because our children are over-suspended and over-expelled. How many black boys were expelled from Fort Lauderdale schools last year? How many black girls were suspended from Hollywood schools last year? See, you got to tie the suspension rate to the test scores. Because if my child ain't never allowed to be in school long enough to learn, how the hell you gonna be complaining about low test scores when you ain't leaving them in class to learn the information in the first place? Third committee,